Look, the Blue Jays are sitting in an incredible position right now. And honestly, if they don't capitalize on this moment, it's going to be one of the biggest missed opportunities we've seen in years. They've already locked down Dylan Cease, added some serious pieces to the rotation, and beefed up the bullpen. But here's the thing, they're not done yet. They can't be done yet. Tucker is the guy. I know everyone's got this emotional attachment to Bo Bichette, and I get it. The nostalgia factor is real. But let's be honest here, Kyle Tucker is the better player, period. Sure, Bo's got that hometown hero appeal, and yeah, watching him develop over the years has been special. But if we're talking about pure baseball value, Tucker takes it every single time. Now, does Tucker cost more money? Absolutely. But this is where the front office needs to make a choice. Do you go all in on Tucker, or do you bring back Bo and spread that money around to add a couple other pieces? That's the real question facing this organization. And I'll tell you what, Blue Jays fans are going to say they want both. That's their favorite word this offseason. Both. Both Tucker and Bo. Both the hitting and the pitching. Both everything. But realistically, getting one of these guys along with what they've already accomplished this winter would make this one of the best off-seasons in franchise history. We're talking about potentially the best off-season anyone's going to have across all of baseball. Here's where it gets interesting. With Bo, I genuinely believe he can evolve as a player. What you're seeing right now is good. It's solid. But I think there's another level to Bo Bichette that we haven't fully seen yet, as his pure athleticism maybe starts to decline a bit. And we've already seen hints of that. I think he's got the ability to transform into more of a power hitter. Remember the playoffs when he was dealing with that injury? Couldn't run like he normally does, couldn't leg out those doubles. What did he do? Started launching home runs instead. Game 7, huge moment, crushed one because he adapted. That's the kind of baseball IQ we're talking about here. The versatility in his hitting approach is genuinely remarkable. This is a guy who could probably figure out how to hit left-handed if you asked him to and still manage to put up respectable numbers. That ability to adjust, to morph his game based on the situation. That's incredibly valuable, especially as players age and their bodies change. But let's talk about the bigger picture for a second. The 2025 Blue Jays were tremendous. They went on a real playoff run, showed they could compete with anybody. The challenge now is simple. How do you beat that? There's really only one way to do it, and that's winning one more game at the end of the season. That's it. That's the bar. Everything they're doing this offseason needs to be aimed at that goal. What's wild to me is what's happening around the rest of baseball right now. There's this weird hesitancy across the league. Teams are tightening up their wallets, being cautious with the potential labor issues coming down the pipeline. Meanwhile, the Blue Jays are doing the exact opposite. They're opening up the checkbook and writing big checks. The Yankees are basically saying they're comfortable being conservative right now. That's insane to me. This is the perfect time for Toronto to strike while everyone else is playing it safe. The AL East is going to be brutal again. There's no getting around that, which is exactly why you can't just run it back with the same roster and hope everything clicks again. Can George Springer replicate what he did last year at his age? Maybe, but probably not at that exact level. Are all those depth pieces going to come through in clutch moments again? Is the rotation going to stay perfectly healthy? These are all question marks. I'm not saying the sky is falling or that things are going to fall apart. What I am saying is that you can't bank on everything going right, like it did last year. Lightning doesn't usually strike twice in the exact same way. So if you've got the resources to add another impact piece, you do it. You don't save that money for next year because next year something else comes up, and that money goes somewhere else. The Blue Jays have the cash. They've got the competitive window open right now. When you have that combination, you spend, you don't get conservative, you don't hold back. You go get your guy, whether that's Tucker or bringing back Bo, and you give yourself the best possible chance to not just match last year, but exceed it. They're one big move away from having a truly elite offseason. And honestly, I'd be shocked if they don't pull the trigger on something before spring training.